meeting to order at 7:10, 7:11. Sorry we're a little late, we're on late tonight. Could we all stand for the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Nancy, could you please read the invocation?
I get it unfolded. Father God, we come before you tonight asking for your wisdom, knowledge, and discernment for those representing us to know your will for Princetown. We ask your peace and unity that only you can give. Thank you for working your will in our town. Bless those who represent us and their families. We pray, as your word says, blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord. We declare this for our town. In Jesus' name, amen.
Could you please remain standing? Our long-time historian passed away, Irma Mastriani. Yes, I'll just remain for a moment of silence for her. Okay. Sandy, could you please read the roll?
Councilman Goldie?
Yes, here.
Councilman Jefferson?
Here.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Here. Supervisor Esposito?
Present. Also present is our attorney, Gerard Parisi. Regular town board meetings are called to order. We did that 7:13 now. Privilege of the floor. Every scheduled town board meeting, the public shall have the right to address the town board during the course of the meeting referred to as privilege of the floor. Members of the public should restrict their comments to items of town business. Although there is no official time constraint, speakers should be considerate of others so that all interested members of the public have an opportunity to be heard. There should be one portion of the meeting dedicated to privilege of the floor near the beginning of each meeting. All remarks, questions shall be addressed to the board. No person shall enter into discussion with a person having the floor. Council members may address any comments during the portion of the meeting referred to as council member comments. Privilege of the floor is opened up at 7:14.
I am Ruth Monroe, and I'm speaking as a resident and a member of the Environmental Committee. Our chairman, David Geisinger, is not able to be here tonight. He did write a letter to the board. But I just wanted to let everybody know that we are active and we are writing a natural resources inventory, which was foretold in the 2013 Princetown Comprehensive Plan. And a lot of information regarding that is in the 2019 Princetown Comprehensive Plan, but we're building on top of that. We've gotten help from a woman named Hagel, is her last name, who led the writing of the Queen's Natural Resources Inventory. And we'll deliver that, we expect to deliver that this year.
Okay, thank you. Any others?
Yes, thank you. Mike Gerasi, Schenectady Sheriff's. Thanks for allowing me to speak. The Sheriff's Office would like to invite the community to join our police reform discussions, which is going to be Thursday. You can access our webpage for any further information on how to access that, any questions you would like to ask the Sheriff's Office in regards to the Road Patrol Division. So if you visit us at SchenectadySheriff.com, all the information will be there, and Town Supervisor Lou Esposito is one of our stakeholders for the meeting. So we thank you for that. And it should be a good community collaboration and discussion. And that's Thursday, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And you can access it through YouTube Live, through the Schenectady County YouTube channel. But all the information is on our website.
Okay.
Excellent.
All right, thank you.
I can leave this with you. This This is also posted on our website.
Thank you.
Okay.
Any others? Mike?
I was just wondering how we do with the contract.
Okay. All right, we'll close up the privilege of the floor at 7:17. Okay. Highway, Nick's not here tonight. We did Van Patten Road. We had to cut some trees down. We hired the Carlo tree experts to do that. Part portion of that road belongs to the town, and we're ready to fall onto our road, so rather than have an issue, we did that. We haven't received a bill from them yet. I don't know if we will or not, but they took care of it. He said he was going to come up tomorrow because the snow pushed up against the fence again. I asked him not to do that, but apparently it didn't resonate with him. So he said he's coming up tomorrow with his backhoe to remove the snow away from the fence on the driveway coming into the town hall. Other than that, I have nothing else from Nick. Okay, this is from Clark Collins, the Water Commissioner. January was a fairly quiet month. We had 3 valve leaks on Pangburn Road as reported in the last month's report, which is why the maximum day average was 216,800 gallons. We have many maintenance projects this coming spring that need to be addressed. These projects include scrapping and painting water lines in the 5 underground pits, redeveloping one of the wells and installing a new pump, which is scheduled for the middle of March. These are just a few of the items that need to be addressed. You need to be aware that as we move forward, our system is getting older and some repairs and water main breaks are going to be costly. We do everything we can to be proactive and control costs so that the residents have a safe and adequate water system. As always, I would like to thank Wes, Jean, Rick, and Bob for all of their help and dedication to the water system and residents of Princetown. Respectively submitted, Clark Collins, Water Commissioner. I might add, Clark has been cutting back. We know he's retired from the town of Rotterdam, and he came on just to help us get going with the passing of George Meade, and he's been at every water main break over the past year, and he stays for the entire time that it's being repaired. And I'd like to thank him for that, because without him and Wes and the rest of the team, we would really be in bad shape. I know that Wes is probably going to become the water commissioner when Clark decides to leave us. So he's in training, and we do have another licensed operator for all the 19 years that we had this water system. We were supposed to have 2 licensed operators, Class B licensed operators, which we never did for whatever reason. And it wasn't until the passing of George that we realized that we were supposed to have 2. And now we do, and we've got a 3rd in training, so I'm very grateful that we had Clark come on at the time when we really needed him. Is there any discussion on his report, Doug? Nicole? Ben? Jim?
No, other than, it keeps going on. It's been an expensive process doing these repairs. And it just seems like there's no end to this.
Okay, I didn't read what he had. He had gallons pumped, 1,610,500, maximum daily average 216,800, maximum Minimum daily average 22,100, daily average 52,000. Okay,
Yes, sir.
code enforcement. It's from Tom Guarini. Total permits 1. Permits issued 1. Permit inspection fees collected $1,850. Building inspection 7. Zoning review 1. Fire inspection 0. Final building inspection 0. Certificate of occupancy compliance 0. Bank deposit $1,850. Check to supervisor $2,000. Checkbook balance as of February 19, 2021, $358.14. Activities in zoning 1, working on planning zoning as needed, working on permit final inspection as needed, reviewing plans as needed, Tom's bringing building inspectors. Any questions about this report? Okay. I don't think Ben is here yet, so.
He's coming.
Did we get a report from the judge? And we don't have anything from the assessor. Buildings and grounds, we did install the electrical lines for the driveway now. That bill has been eliminated, they just did that. So we're only going to have the one bill now coming in for the roadway coming in too, as opposed to we had 2. So it's tied into this building now. I'd like to thank Nick again. He came up here and dug the line with his own equipment for the installation. To thank Nick Sr. again. Other than that, I don't have anything else. Any questions? Okay, public hearings, we don't have any. Minutes of the meeting, minutes I should say, is hereby resolved the meeting minutes of January 12, 2021 regular town board meeting are approved or as amended.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura?
Abstain?
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Approval of town justice audit, annual audit. Be it resolved that the annual audit of Town of Princetown Town Justice books, records, and dockets for the calendar year 2020 was completed as required by law. Be it also resolved that the attached annual checklist for review of the Justice Court records was completed at the time of the annual audit by the town attorney in conjunction with the town justice and the town board. Hereby authorize the annual audit checklist and a copy of the resolution be filed with the state of New York Office of Court Administration pursuant to section 2019-A of the Uniform Justice Court Act. Discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura?
Yes.
Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Establish some building permit fees for the major solar energy projects. This resolution came from our attorney that negotiated our solar ordinance for commercial solar factories. I don't call them farms, I call them factories. In conjunction with our town attorney, Gerard Parisi. Whereas the town of Princetown requires building permits for construction within the community in order to ensure compliance with codes and protection for the public. Whereas the town has authorized solar energy project and the New York State Department of State Division of Code Enforcement has determined that solar farms are not buildings, and therefore the town fee schedule for building permits is not applicable to the solar energy project or future solar energy projects. And whereas the town, after receiving building permit charges for solar facilities in other communities and receiving input from the project owner, wishes to establish a fee for solar energy projects that will be applicable to all projects regardless of their size and represent average cost of review. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Princetown as follows: the building permit fee for major solar energy projects as the term is defined in the town of Princetown solar energy facilities law shall be $1,000 per megawatt alternating current based on a maximum nameplate capacity. This resolution will be effective immediately. I might add that this $1,000 per megawatts, there's a 20 megawatt solar project that's going in, and that's going to be a windfall for the town of $20,000 for that building permit. I understand from what I was told from the attorney in Buffalo that we are the highest permit fee for solar energy right now for commercial development. And that's a thing that we're proud of. We also had a host agreement that we're going to be getting from them, and I think it's going to add, what was it, 35,000?
I think it was between 30 and 35,000.
30 and 35,000.
And that's yearly for a period of 30 years, so we're talking close to $1 million total net revenue over that time period.
And we did that about a year ago, and they're just getting around since this, when it first came to light. The energy company has been sold. This is the third time. I think Goldman Sachs owns it now. So and they're looking to start installing the energy or the solar panels as soon as a building permit is issued. They're probably going to have to wait another month for the ground to thaw up a little, I guess. But and that's a good windfall for the town over here, and for any other current project that has 100 acres or more. And the reason why we did that, and I think it's a good thing for the town. 30 to 35,000 plus another 20,000 coming into the town coffers is certainly nothing to sneeze at. So, any questions, discussion? Doug? Nicole? Ben? Jim?
No, only that, people do understand that the town of Princetown has no town tax, zero. We have no way of raising money through a town tax. So when we have opportunities like this, it's very important we do the best we can to make sure that they work well for us. And this does. This has been a really good deal, and it could not have come at a better time. I mean, we've been economizing with everything. We're not even going to print the newsletter this year because we just don't have any money to do anything extra. So having something like this come at a time like this when we're, in the financial crunch is really very helpful, and we're all quite pleased about it.
That $35,000 doesn't come into play until the system goes online.
It probably won't be for 2 years, but still, it's money that will be there, and it will continue for 30 years. So we're looking at a long time revenue stream.
And there are other projects that have, some solar companies that have shown some interest in the town that's coming before the planning board from what I understand, so. All right. Sandy,
I'll make it.
is there a second?
I'll say it.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Gregorio?
Yes.
Councilwoman Moore? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Authorize supervisor to execute in district water sale agreement. Be it resolved, the town board of the town of Princetown hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute an agreement to sell potable water to Affordable Water Bulk Water Delivery LLC for a term not to exceed 5 years at a rate for the sale of the water at $4 per 1,000 gallons of water and not to exceed 60,000 gallons per day. The Town and Water District Number 1 also reserved the right to discontinue supply under the agreement if there is not a sufficient excess water available beyond the required to supply its service area as determined within the sole discretion of the district. Is there a discussion on this?
Yes, I do have some discussion on this. Again, this particular contract will benefit our water district. As bad as it's been financially for the general fund, for the town of Princetown, it pales in comparison to the difficulty we're having with the water district because of the number of repairs we've had. We've had problem after problem after problem. So this small project would be a godsend for the water district. I think it could not have come again at a better time. Town of Princetown is very fortunate to have both of these projects, the solar project and even this, come at a time when we really could use it. So I think that seeing no particular, if there's no objection to this, I think it's a great idea, and it's coming at a great time for the town of Princetown Water District, which is really going to be able to use the additional cash flow to help with repair costs.
I'll make the motion.
Well, hang on just a second. I might add that this may add up to roughly $30,000 for a year for the water district, coming into the town coffers and the water budget. So I think it's a good thing. From what I understand, there's nowhere near they'll be pumping 60,000 gallons per day out of that, what he's got planned for. So I think it's a good thing. And just like Jim says, it comes at a time when we're certainly going to be needing the money for the water district. So, any other discussion? Doug?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll think.
Sandy?
Hold on. Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Did we? Paul, was that the right figure we had in there?
60,000 gallons?
No, we got $4. I don't remember if that was it.
Yeah, it is good.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay,
4 per thousand? Yes, sir.
okay. All right, you're all set on that then. General funds claim. It is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 263 through 266 in an amount of $891.68. Discussion.
Hey Lou, just to backtrack a little bit, it's in this contract.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't.
No, like the 4 per thousand is in the official.
I just want to make sure you're on track.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, that.
Okay, any discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes, general funds claim abstract number 2 of 2021, is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 12 through number 29 in the amount of $14,293.15. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Also.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. General funds claim for 2020, is hereby resolved the town board approves the following transfers. You want me to read all these?
I think we can read it.
Pardon?
We can read it ourselves.
Okay. Is there a discussion?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 6 through number 21 in the amount of $78,962.98. Is there a discussion? Is there a motion? Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavoldi?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Water fund budget transfers, and hereby resolved the town board approves increasing the usage of the
Oh, you
fund.
missed one.
Pardon?
Water fund transfers, you skipped one.
I did?
Yes.
Oh, yes, I did. Sorry about that. Water fund transfer 2020 upon the motion of council member, and second by council member. Do I want me to read all these?
Okay.
All right. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso? Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Water fund budget transfer for 2020, is hereby resolved, the town board approves increasing the use of the fund balance for 2020 budget from 13,000 to 35,026, and increase the 2020 budget line from $883,404.12. Water repair line from 60,000 to 95,026. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
And a second? I'll second it. Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. It is hereby resolved, the town board approves claim number 10 in the amount of $6,802.74 for snow and ice control. Discussion. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Before you leave, I wanted to get into something about the civic committee. No, not Mike, yes. You.
Robert?
Yes.
Oh, the environmental committee?
Yes.
Yes.
Is hereby resolved, highway transfer, hereby resolved that the town board approves the transfer of $6,802.74 from account number 99019 to account number 5031. Discussion. Is there a motion? A second?
I'll second.
Sandy?
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Highway plans abstract number 2 for 2021. Is hereby resolved the town board approves claim number 1 in the amount of $380 for snow and ice control. Discussion.
I'll make it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Councilman Pavolli?
Yes.
Councilman Jackaruso?
Yes.
Councilwoman Mora? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. Okay. Council members' comments or concerns?
The only comments I have is about, again, going back to the water system. It's been a very, very rough year for this water system. And, you know, it's great to have that beautiful, pure, clean water get delivered to our homes and on a regular basis without any hassles, and it's quite inexpensive, and just, you know, everybody in the water district should understand it's been very problematic. It's been a real struggle keeping the system going. Hopefully, we'll have a better year this year with repair work, but it hasn't started out better. We tend to get a lot of breaks during the winter time, but we're in the process of upgrading a lot of stuff, and hopefully within a couple of years we'll have some major improvements in it.
I've got a few things I'd like to say before we go any farther. We'll go over the things that we've accomplished over the past couple of years. I'd say actually 3-4 years, especially in the water department. In the water department, we never had a vehicle that we could use, a pickup truck. We purchased a new truck that was a leftover. I think it was 2017, had 600 miles on it. We sent out many bids, but we found one from Pasula over in Rensselaer, and it was bought at cost. We paid that off in 6 months. We also had a plow on it. That was on it when we got it, and now we're using that to plow out the water systems, the pump houses, and the storage tanks. That's something we never had, and if we didn't have that truck, we certainly wouldn't have been able to hire anybody else. Nobody was going to use their own vehicle. We also made a deal under the shared services, which the governor has asked all of the towns and villages and cities to work together. I think we're probably the only one that did anything so far, but now we purchase our fuel from the county under the shared services agreement. We don't pay any federal, state, or local tax, which is about half the price of the pump price that we were paying before. which was a huge cost savings to the town. And not like I said, and we purchased it over on Keller Avenue, which is right around the corner from us, so that was a savings. We replaced a pump station on Darrell Road this past year. We had 14 water main breaks, most recently Pangburn Road in Vernon. Vernon was major, that was a major break, there was 2 breaks under the road. And the second one was over on Birchwood and Pangburn Road. That was the second time that one was repaired, and they had a big problem with that one. There was concrete poured around the valves for whatever reason. They had to have a jackhammer to get it out. They replaced Suttles Hill Road communication system. That hadn't worked for years. They replaced the entire communication system from a lightning strike. Insurance paid $52,000 for that. They're still having trouble getting that up and running. That regulates the water and the storage tanks. We received $50,000 from the county for repairs for the water system this past year. I'd like to thank Tony Buzinski and the Schenectady County Legislature for that. We replaced a water line on Route 7. We had 7 breaks over the last year, and then found another 6 or 7 with little pinholes in them, and we're ready to become major leaks. That line was replaced this past fall. After George's passing, we hired Clark Collins, a licensed operator. And I told you earlier, we found out that we needed 2. We corrected that. Hired Wes Blessing to become the water commissioner. He's in training, and actually Wes is really running the water department right now. We hired Rick Rourke, another licensed operator. Now we do have the 2 licensed operators meeting state requirements. We'll be servicing one pump, possibly replacing it. We talked about that. Clark gave us that in that report they gave us. And we have not raised user fees, was not done yet. We've never taken a vote on it, a resolution has never been passed on that yet, but we're going to be discussing that in the future. In the town hall, the land was given to us across the roadway coming into the town hall. The county purchased that land, and they kept a small portion for themselves, and they donated the rest of that land to us. That was the land where the Vietnam Wall was put in, and that's going to be used for a recreational area at some time in the future, if we ever can get the money to do it. I'd like to thank Tony Jazinski and the Schenectady County Legislature for that, to give to the town. We received a grant for LED lighting for the state police and the town hall. We changed over to LED, all over the LED lighting in both places. Thank you very much, Jeff, for handling that for us. We placed security cameras all the way around the building and the gazebo. We installed handicap accessible doors, which were supposed to be installed years ago. That grant was given to us by Angelo Santa Barbara. Thank you, Mr. Santa Barbara. We upgraded the state police processing room this past year. We hired a maintenance man for 3 days a week. He's a retired contractor, and he's going to be doing the maintenance work around here and the state police building. He's going to, as you can see, he's already done the town hall, or the courtroom here, fixed all of the leaks, or the walls that were leaking. We did repair the roof. We are going to have to replace the roof this coming year. We established a solar ordinance, and that's going to generate, as Jim said, $35,000 a year for 30 years. And that host agreement for any other one that's going to come into the town, we're going to have this host agreement and a new schedule fee, which we just passed. These are just a few of the things that the town board has done over the past 3 or 4 years that people in the town don't really realize what's been going on. And I think that's a real plus for the town. Our town board works together. We never have any bickering anymore like we used to. And I think that's a plus for the town. So what I got to say about that. Doug, you got anything like that?
I'm happy with what's going on. The water department though, I still say, anybody that's hooked up to the water can afford $1 a day. I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. When you're paying .003 per gallon for your water, and last year they said the water was down, you didn't have any water. The reason our water was down is, you said it, the pump's not working.
Yeah,
They
hasn't been
have to
serviced in
be
20 years.
cleaned out, them screens get corroded, and that's why it's not working. There was no water problem last year.
No.
It's the pumps. And they've been let go for how long?
19 years.
Okay. I rest my case. But anybody in the town of Princetown that's on that water line can't afford $1 a day, 1 bottle of water, go to the store and buy it. And I still stick to my story. Or a cup of coffee at McDonald's, or that's the way I feel. I'm sorry.
It's your opinion, Doug, you got a right to it.
If they can't afford $1 a day, you should be $365 a year for 52,000 gallons of water. When you pay .003 for a gallon of water, doesn't make sense. And that's why we're in the shape we're in right now. And it should have been done a long time ago.
Okay.
And I go with my tractor and help everybody with the water. You know that, I'm at every water main break, I'm the first one they call. I'm sorry, that's the way I feel.
Nicole, you got anything? Ben?
When are we tackling the water fees?
Pardon?
When are we, handling the water
We're actually
fees?
going to talk about it tonight.
What's that?
Tonight, are we
Yeah.
discussing it in executive session?
Oh, so we're gonna, okay.
Ben, you got anything else?
Yeah, the PAC letter mentioned canceling recycle day this year because of COVID. So they asked us to,
Right, that's
kind
what I
of
asked
discuss
too.
that.
Pomeroy said.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing they want to cancel it, right? Or, yeah, I mean,
They, Preisinger asked if we would be willing to pay for a mailer, postcard mailer. Sandy figured it out today, it would cost us about $360. Is that what it was, Sandy?
it's $315 plus whatever it costs to print.
I'm asking if the town board wants to spend the $360 roughly to send out a postcard so that they can have recycling day.
Well, it wouldn't be for this year, it would be for the following year, 2022.
Right.
You'd rather do it, you don't want to do it this year?
No, is this me speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because we've got 5 people on the committee. 4 of us are senior citizens. There are complicating diseases, et cetera. And none of us have got our vaccine yet. And yes, it's outdoors. I mean, we would not have the vendors inside. And we talked about having a drive-through to get the trees. But that doesn't solve the problem of when the people come in with their scrap metal and tires, that there's no good way to maintain social distancing there. So we'd be violating the rules, and plus our own conditions. So, and it's not just ourselves, other volunteers who help besides the committee are also elderly. So,
I'm here every time they have one,
yes, you are.
and I don't wear a mask.
So you want to do it next year, is that the idea?
Yeah,
Not in 2021 at all?
correct.
Okay,
Yeah,
so this,
so the letter addressed two things, canceling Recycle Day this year in light of the pandemic, and then what to do about the following year to advertise Recycle Day, assuming we're not going to send out a physical copy of the newsletter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Well
they
said.
asked that we change the newsletter for the spring as opposed to fall, for 1 year that we do it. Or
I
send
thought,
out the postcard. I don't see why we just wouldn't want to send out a postcard to the residents in the town. That's not a large expense.
well, how much more would it be to do the actual newsletter?
no, you know, we may want to revisit that whole newsletter thing, because I'm getting feedback from people saying they do like getting the newsletter. And if it's gonna cost us $400 to mail a postcard, I think it cost us, what did it cost us last year, 600 to mail a newsletter?
You know, more than that.
No, it's good.
I thought you said $1,000.
I mail, I send out about 900, and it's 50 cents a piece, so that's $450 to $500, $500 we spend on stamps.
Well, then do the newsletter, why send a postcard? Just to tell them
They
they
want to
can't
change
read
their
their
date
junk.
when we do the newsletter.
Well, the postcard would be for the following year, not this year.
Right.
I don't know, I mean, yeah, if it's only a couple hundred more to do the newsletter, you might as well do the newsletter.
I mean, if we send a newsletter out once a year, let's say in the spring, we cut our expense in half with the mailing and the printing. But at least people get a chance once a year to get 8 pages of information about the town in their hand, delivered to their mailbox. I know we voted to eliminate it, so as of right now, it's not going to be printed or
We're going to do it online.
online.
That's what we're going to do, is online.
But I just talked to the sheriff tonight, and he said that they were very pleased to have a full page in the newsletter, and it went over real good at the sheriff's department. I mean, I don't really care one way or the other, so it's a lot of work for me, so to not do it, you know, gives me a break, but, you know, I've had a lot of feedback. People do say they do like it. And,
Well, suppose we do keep it in the fall and we spend the extra $300 for the postcard in
Why
the
don't
spring.
you do it in the spring and not spend that extra?
Yeah, I would just do it in the spring and not do it in the fall in that case.
if we do it once in the spring, it's, our cost will be cut in half. And I can do a fall one online.
That's what they want to do.
Well, then it would handle the PAC issue as well. You'd be able to advertise any events, you would just have to advertise them at the beginning of the year. You know, whatever events we know are gonna happen. I mean, Recycle Day happens every year typically.
Okay, so we'll do it in the spring. Are you all in agreement on the spring of
Well,
the
we'll
year
have
to
a
do the...
resolution that-
Yeah, because right now, we took the money out of the budget for,
This year, we did take it out.
Well, this year, like, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm talking for 2022, you know? Send out the spring newsletter. That would handle PAC so that Recycle Day could be advertised. I don't know if I would change it for this year. I don't know.
Not in the budget.
Doctor,
I would just have you guys talk to David Geisinger about it, because there used to be in the budget something like $600 budget for the environmental committee. So just, and we've never gotten any money anyway, I mean, you know, except to buy the trees with. So just use the rest of our budget for the newsletter.
I mean, we can give you a whole page in the newsletter, which is gonna give you a lot more coverage than you would get, you know, a half page or a whole page. You get a lot more coverage than a postcard would give you. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
You know, we can do graphics and a lot more in the newsletter, a lot more information can be, you know, can be delivered.
$600 is not gonna break the town to have one in the spring.
No, good with any way we want to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta be flexible. Our original intent was to save the money, but if this helps to solve a bunch of issues, may as well, you know?
And we've had 2 windfalls since we were in the real financial jam. substantial windfall. So money is not that big an issue. I mean, $600 is no
You gotta
longer.
remember, we are putting on that roof is gonna cost us what, almost 80 grand?
Well, we didn't get the solar permit money yet. I wouldn't count
Well, that's coming as soon as we just did it, and we're gonna be getting the permit within days.
We got general fund, we got enough for 600
Yeah.
bucks.
If we
Yes.
invested $8,000.
that would be a couple years out.
Yeah, whatever you want to change it this spring, I'm fine with it. Whatever you want to do, Jim, you're the one who puts it together.
Not,
It'd be, just talking about timing, it wouldn't be spent in 2021, so your 2021 budget would be as done.
Yeah.
It would be spring of 2022, you'd be putting out the newsletter with the page for the recycle rate.
We could do it this year if we want to do it.
I don't think we can put it on this year.
but if you wanted to get together with me, Doc, and write something up about your committee, about anything else, if we pull it out in the spring, you know, we could give you a half page just on your committee, what you're doing. You can explain that we've canceled.
Oh, okay,
That type of
so you
thing,
can
so-
do publicity for us.
Yes, exactly. We can do a little, do a little
That's
bit,
what you guys
beforehand.
decide. Yeah.
you know?
Are we in agreement on that then?
I'd say wait till 2022. I mean, we've already budgeted 2021. We just pick it back up this spring. Physical
Yes,
copy.
2022, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We're not
Well,
gonna do
he's
it this
mentioned
year.
it this year.
Right. We're gonna, I think we should have one in this spring.
Well, they're not gonna do the recycling this year.
I understand, but in the interest of continuity,
No.
you know what I'm saying? I mean, when you gotta have some continuity to stuff like this. You can't just skip a year and then go back. It's just not, you have to have continuity.
I'm good with it. Okay.
And then we can get together, you know my number, you've got my number, you give me a call, we'll sit down, we'll do a nice story.
All right, so you said we're talking about water fees later.
Yes.
Executive session, yeah.
Did you want to address the tax increase thing?
No.
No. All right, next meeting.
Okay. Anything from Nicole, you got anything? Jim?
No.
Okay. Executive session, is hereby resolved that the town board enters into an executive session at 7:59. Is there a motion?
I'll make it.
What is the reason?
Legal matter. Is there a motion? You gave?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
Awesome.
Sandy?
Councilman Bowles?
Yes.
Councilman Jack Russo?
Yes.
Councilwoman Laura? Yes. Councilman Gray?
Yes.
Supervisor Esposito?
Yes. You're all welcome to stay until after the executive session. You're not going to stay. Thank you all for coming.
You